The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the show. David Pakman here. Just back from vacation, Lewis. I was visiting family in Argentina.
The home country.
And I am now back. Later on today, it's great to be back live with everybody, by the way, Lewis. I know Lewis was really enjoying this break. He told me he was fishing, he was eating polluted fish. He was, you were really packing it all in during this vacation.
I was all over the place. We've had some great weather here.
Yeah, well, it's 100 degrees now. So I'm not a huge fan of that.
I love it. I'd be out doing a jog right now if I didn't have to do this.
Well, I just am back from Argentina. A lot of interesting stuff happened on the trip, Lewis. And I haven't even told Lewis about most of the stuff. I'll get to the anti-gay homosexual pedophile. I'll get to the anti-Semitic security guard. Okay, I'll get to those things, ladies and gentlemen. But first, I want to talk about my insane flight situation. Did you hear about this volcanic ash situation in South America?
No.
There's this volcano in Argentina that has been for the last few months spewing ash into the atmosphere, and every once in a while, it basically wreaks havoc with tons of flights. Mm-hmm. Lewis not liking where the story is going, I can tell.
What?
And so I flew out on a Friday, okay, and I was flying through Washington, D.C., and my mom calls me up and she says, I didn't know if I should tell you this or not because it would make you nervous, as if I wouldn't have found out on my own, but that's another story. She was already in Argentina with TV producer Natan Pakman, and she said, but yesterday's flight, your same flight, had to land in Miami. It couldn't land in Argentina because of the volcanic ash. So I assumed it's a 10 p.m. flight. It left at 10, and around midnight, the amount of time it takes to get to Miami, it landed in Miami. Not at all, ladies and gentlemen. The flight was at 3 a.m., already over Brazil, maybe even Bolivia, and it turned around and went back to Miami, okay, because of the volcanic ash, waited in Miami for 3 hours, and then went all the way back to Washington, D.C. Okay, now I check in at Hartford Airport at around 3 o'clock, and I say, so how full is my long flight later on to Argentina? And they say, oh, it's half empty. Perfect. Hopefully I'll have an empty seat next to me. During my first flight to D.C., the previous day's flight gets back in there. All of those people try to get rebooked onto my flight, obviously. So I show up at the airport, and there's literally, there's people just sitting everywhere, windowsills, people are hanging from the ceiling. I mean, literally just people everywhere. And it's very clear that my flight is no longer half empty. And people covered in red wine because the turbulence was so bad, apparently, that the drink cart spilled and sprained a flight attendant's ankle. I've never heard of that cart. That cart is designed not to tip over.
How can it tip over in that little aisle?
I guess it was in the galley.
Wow.
I don't know. And people with red wine from when wine glasses went into the air because of turbulence. Flight attendants are injured. Complete nightmare. Fortunately, my flight got in there with no problem because that could have been a bad situation. And I get to this apartment. Let me go into the anti-Semitic incident first. I get to the apartment. TV producer Natan Pakman and I and our mom all rented an apartment down there visiting family. And at the place, there's 24-hour security, okay? Pretty common at a lot of apartment buildings there. There's a guy who does 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The night security guy, Lewis, is involved in the renting of the apartment we rented. He helps the owner. The owner lives a couple hours outside of the city,
right? So
he helps her out. So we found this place through an agency. So the guy says to us, next time, if you want to come next year, you should just contact me or contact me directly or contact the owner directly. We'll save some money. You'll save some money by not paying the rental agency fee. Perfect. Makes sense, right?
Right.
And then he says, yeah, because how much did you guys pay? And I tell him what we paid, and he says, yeah, well, see, the thing is, the owner's Jewish. And at this point, my mom butts in, hoping to cut off the situation because you know where this thing is going. Mm-hmm. And she says, oh, really? So am I. And the guy doesn't miss a beat, and he says, "Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because there's a lot of people sometimes who don't like Jews." Clearly, just trying to change the topic. And my mom says, "You mean here in this building?" And he says, "No, this building's fine, just in general." So clearly, whatever he was going to say, he changed his mind and trying to make the point that there's anti-Semitism, I guess, choosing in the discussion in the context of renting the apartment next year. just choosing to let us know that sometimes there's people
that
who don't like Jews.
anti-Semitism exists.
Yeah. So that was pretty friendly of the guy, isn't it?
What a nice guy.
Really nice guy.